What's up, everybody? Slipping Dead Podcast, episode 30. Kendrick Johnson, Matthew Wells, kicking to you live from Dallas, Texas. Don't know what the title of the episode is? We'll have something tight for you. We got an action-packed show for the 6th week in a row. Raquel Pennington will be in the house, followed by UFC veteran James Vick, who's kind of undercover, becoming one of the most avoided men in his division. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. How's your weekend, partner?
Man, it was crazy, man. I mean, I witnessed history on Saturday, along with everybody else who watched the UFC. We all witnessed history.
The longest
damn card in the history of the UFC.
Why were you a fool and watched every fight, bro?
Man, I watched
four fights. I watched bits of 4 fights. I watched the co-main and the main. That was enough for me.
I watch every fight. You know, that's me. If I'm home, I'm watching every fight. You know, unless if I'm out working, whatever have you, I'm watching every fight. Just because you never know if something crazy is gonna happen. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to pull up Twitter. I don't want to pull up Twitter and be like, "Oh, the craziest knockout ever!" Like, I want to see it. I want to see it when it happens. So, you know, I don't like to miss stuff.
It's all the same to me if I'm not in the arena. Like I finally had my holy shit moment. It just happened to happen to one of my favorite fighters, 217. That was my first holy shit moment in person. Like, I've seen him on TV. I've seen him on pay-per-view. I've not seen him in person until Rose said, "Hiya, ha, ha!" Down goes JJ. That was it.
Yeah, man. It was a card that was very damn depressing at the end of the day. Because what really sucks is, like, the whole Fight Pass prelims, all decisions. The middle televised prelims were actually really damn good. They were all finishes. Well, no, the first one was the fight of the night, which was just crazy. No defense whatsoever from either fighter. Just swinging, slugging, just bleed type stuff. I mean, you know, a lot of people...
That getting hit, that's not cool. Everybody, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's entertaining because it's silly. It's silly, exactly. Exactly. You're not seeing high level... I mean, you're seeing high level guys in there, but they're not fighting like high level fighters. They're just swinging for the fences, and nobody's landing. So, you know, that was wild. And then you had the other finishes throughout there. And then you go to the 6-fight main card, headlined by Fabricio Verdumerang, and you know, it was just boring as hell, man. Like, I was struggling along with everybody else on Twitter, man. We were sitting there like, you know, trying to stay awake. I had so much caffeine during that main card.
I was watching a lot of football. As you know, I wear multiple hats. I got the college football. Yeah. I got the Texas high school sports. We got the NBA. I was wearing my college football hat. Gonna be a lot of coaches getting fired, but that's another sport.
Yeah, man. It was nuts, man. It was a good weekend, though. I think overall for sports in general, man. There's a lot of good basketball.
Except for the home team, don't even talk about them.
Hey, man.
I say anybody that know anything about football, you show me an NFL team that's missing their 3 best players and show me how many games they win. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right, that's true. I mean, a lot of people are.
It's happened. The Cowboys, one of their top 3 players is not a quarterback. That's all.
A lot of people are pointing to, oh, Dak's not really as good as you think he is. No, Dak doesn't have Zeke Elliott. Dak doesn't have Tyron Smith. Dak also doesn't have Sean Lee on the other side of football. You know,
I will say this though about Dak though, that it's kind of catch-22. We didn't need Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams cost this man 2 pick sixes almost. Mm-hmm. But they got Dak doing things he ain't capable of doing. But can he do that?
Yeah, Dak is fine, man. Hey, listen, when you structure the offense around having those star players there and then they're out, of course you're going to struggle in the middle of the season.
You can't take your identity in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and I also think that the coaching staff needs to be revamped, you know, because they made a lot of questionable calls, a lot of questionable play calling in that game. So,
I give them a pass. They don't got the narrative I'm tired of hearing about is Carson Wentz is just so much better than Dak Prescott. Like, he's not winning games. His running the game, and his defense.
I mean, Carson Wentz is solid.
He was 14 for 27.
He's solid.
I ain't say he can't play, but they talking about him being MVP and giving the key to Pennsylvania and all this. I'm not saying the man can't play. He can play. He's good. Yeah. But, like, I'm more scared of Aaron Rodgers than him. I'm more scared of the Packers as a whole than the Eagles. You're getting a full, healthy Cowboys squad. I like my chances because they're not going to go 3 times in the red zone not score.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, let's bring it back to the fighting world, man. So, I mean, what was it? the card as a whole on Saturday, man, is very forgetful. Was there anything that you took away from it that was somewhat memorable for you?
Fabricio Werdum, he's scared for one shot. And people don't realize that he literally is one of the top 10. We were talking about resumes. People forget his resume is top 10, without a doubt. Yes. I'm either pound for pound, 100%. Heavyweight. Like, he legitimately can slide in the top 2 if he become a 2-time UFC champion. Top 3. His resume speaks for itself.
But is that the type of performance that's going to get you a title shot, man?
You go out there. Do. Why take chances and get your head knocked up by somebody 10 years younger than you? Then we be talking about how stupid he was. I would. Like, what's wrong with this fool? All he had to do, he did what he had to do to win, and people are talking about him because he won, but how he took a chance and got knocked out, they really been talking. It's like, people don't get it.
But you can say that when he fought Walt Harris, and he tapped Walt Harris in like 30 seconds. So what's the difference?
This dude been going to run it through people. He didn't run through him.
Still.
It wasn't like he was hitting him. This dude got head kicked twice. He hit the dude with some shots. His dick got to get the man props. He came to fight. I think people are looking at his uneven performances because it's a heavyweight fight. If the dude was a 170-pounder, like entire weight class, nobody's saying nothing.
I think Fabricio actually may have injured his elbow earlier in the week. You know what I'm saying? Throwing a certain device at Colby Covington.
Why people making a big deal? The wrong thing is he knew what he had to do. Hey, you let somebody at the MMA call you the N-word. Are you gonna see them up on the strip?
Man, I'm just listen.
That's basically what he was fighting for, and they're not gonna ever fight in the cage, so it's kind of irrelevant to me. Like, yeah. I know if I want to talk. It's like Cyborg walking up on old girl, except for she threw a toothpick, he threw a boomerang.
That's the thing, man. I think people need to realize Brazilian fighters, they will check you in the streets.
They about that life.
They will check you in the streets.
You better get them some respect in their name. You don't respect nobody.
Yep.
Cyborg, come on the show, girl. We've been trying to get you. You hit me up on Twitter all the time. You're good people. Come on the show. We like you. We do not hate on you at all. You do what you do.
Or her boyfriend hit you up on Twitter.
Yeah. Maybe hit us up. Hey.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. That fight against Holly Holm is going to be a damn good fight.
But then Holly Holm's the only person that can remotely beat her. I don't know if she's big enough to get her off of her.
No, she definitely is. Holly Holm's definitely got the frame. She's a lot bigger.
Frame, but let the Fireboy lean on her because we saw what Misha did to her by leaning on her and broke her down. Misha's nowhere near as big as Cyborg. That's the thing. I'm not saying she can't stuff her takedown or nothing like that. I'm talking about 5 rounds. Yeah. That 4th and 5th round, we saw her get broke down from Misha being resilient and keep coming at her.
Listen,
and Misha ain't nowhere near as big as Cyborg.
But Cyborg is on this different type of game plan these days. You saw what she did against Tanya Evinger. She was calculated. She was calm. She was patient. She didn't just go bum rush people like she used to. So you do that against Holly, and that's tailored to Holly's game.
Yes and no. She's been sparring with the best boxer in the world right now. Holly was the best boxer in the world. And I'm not talking about because she slipped. Yeah. It's because she got older. Clarissa Shields is a whole different beast. If she can hang with Clarissa Shields and training camp, she can hang with Holly Holm.
No, I'm not saying that she can't hang with her. I'm just talking about how...
I'm talking about on the feet. She don't even have to wrestle. She can beat her striking.
Yes, I'm talking about the pace of the fight, though. That a slower pace favors Holly Holm.
But she
look at all of her.
She's been fighting within that boxing. It's way slower than MMA. So I think she's used to doing that. But she's going around with Clarissa Shields. She's gonna be ready. That's the best female fighter in the world right now.
Yeah.
So there's nothing Holly gonna throw at her that she hadn't seen, and she's been fighting with Clarissa for the last 6 months. People don't understand. Cyborg's a lot smarter than what we thinking. She had Holly circled and knew she had to get ready. So hey, now we're gonna train with the best boxer in the world. People talking about her because she was backing her up. I see her do more than back up people. They need to leave her alone. Cyborg, look at her. Why she put that out there? Okay, let Holly Holm try to back her up. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Holly Holm's gonna have to throw a head kick or something.
We'll see.
I guarantee you, Holly Holm can't win without throwing kicks and keeping distance. If she thinks she's gonna go toe to toe and strike with her, she's sadly mistaken.
Holly's definitely gonna be throwing kicks, and I think we'll see. We'll see Cyborg shooting for takedowns too, because like you said, what Misha did to her. Started smothering her, got it inside of her range and everything. I think that's what we'll see, but I can't help but think of how she was slow and calculated in that Tanya Evinger fight when everybody thought she was just going to come out and knock Tanya Evinger out.
But she's seconds. So good. She wanted to showcase that.
I get it. But it's just I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what type of fighter she comes out.
For people that's I won't say immature this MMA game, but that's outlandish. Cyborg did things the way you're supposed to. What we saw at UFC, I get them on Nunes and Shevchenko. That's not what you're supposed to do. The way Cyborg did it is the way you're supposed to. I'm gonna show you something. Yeah, I can take you this girl in the first round, but I'm showing you something. Not like, hey, I went 25 minutes. I keep my belt. Yay! That's different. So I like the Cyborg props. She threw another wrinkles. Like, oh, you think I can't go for the last 15 minutes? Do you? Okay.
But how much of that is fake news though? Because she's getting old.
Who, Cyborg?
She's getting old.
She ain't taking no damage though. She ain't getting old. What wars has she been in?
She's getting old. Ain't got nothing to do with wars. She's getting old.
But
a lot of weight cuts. A lot of damn near dying in weight cuts.
True that, but look how old Holm is. Holm should be popping out kids in
Holly Holm nearly died in weight cuts. I mean, she has tough.
Yeah, but Holly Holm been hitting the head multiple times. You count her boxing and MMA career. People forget that.
Real talk. I think Holly Holm's going to be one of the ones that, in terms of female fighters, that we need to look at for CTE. For real. Because she's been, in boxing, kickboxing, MMA. She's been hit a lot. I'm really, kind of concerned. It's kind of hard to tell with her, too. We don't know if she's really already kind of there because she's got that personality where she's like so carefree.
Yeah, I think
she's such a nice girl. I'm not trying to say
but Holly's super nice.
She is, but
Holly's that lady that strikes you when she's in person. Like, you didn't know she was. She's a beautiful lady. So it's like, oh, so she can talk and she looks good. I was thinking at 209, and then you see how big she is. Like, you don't even want to pump her. She like I don't want to be like Ronda. Don't kick me.
Right. I don't want to come off saying like she's already like punch drunk or whatever. But I'm just saying.
She's been in a lot of wars.
Been in a lot of wars. She's one we need to keep our eye on. When they have these studies coming out of like freaking what was it? Aaron Hernandez the other day. Did you read that article saying he had like the worst case of CTE ever? That's crazy. But he had other issues going on. I don't think CTE had anything to play with what happened with him. But
see that segue, not necessarily that, but the fact that she's been in some wars. We can get to our first guest, Raquel Pennington, who was Holly's first opponent in the UFC octagon. I was there, 184, Kat and Ronda. And the fight of the night was actually Holly and Raquel. And that's why I knew Raquel had something when she dropped Holly in that third round. And he's like, okay. And she has not lost since. Yeah. So let's take it straight to the guest for our girl, Raquel Rocky Pennington. Please welcome to the Slip and Dip Podcast. 2 for the price of 1. Raquel Rocky Pennington and Tecia Little Tornado Torres. Thanks for joining.
Bro. Come on now. Tiny Tornado.
What up, bro?
Thanks for joining the show, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, Raquel, obviously, the biggest thing that everybody wants to know is obviously, you've had a lot of injuries, a lot of surgeries, a lot of recovery time. Do we have a date yet that we're looking at when you're going to get back in the octagon?
Well, I was supposed to be back in there December 30th for the world title, but then this hunting accident happened, and so I'll probably be back and ready to go around, I'm hoping May.
Hoping May. Can you tell us a little bit more about what happened in that hunting accident?
I was on my yearly hunting trip with my uncles, my papa, and my cousins. We were actually out hunting that morning, and we decided to come down from the mountain, and from the top of the mountain that we were at, and go back to camp to get some coffee and some breakfast. We were probably 3 minutes away from our campsite. We were in our side-by-sides. It was snowing, and we went to go turn the corner, and the side-by-side flipped, and when it flipped, I was in the passenger seat, and it basically threw me out, and the roll cage smashed my leg. And my cousin fell out of the driver's seat on top of me and then had to climb out the windshield and lifted it up, and I had to drag myself out, and it was just terrible pain. I knew something was wrong. My other cousins rushed back to the campsite, grabbed the truck, and they loaded me up and drove me about 35 minutes to the hospital. When I got there, they did x-rays and stuff like that. The way everything felt, I was wearing really high hunting boots, and the doctor basically said that I lucked out because the way everything felt, it felt like my leg got completely smashed, that my bone came out of my skin, and that my leg went one way, my body went the other way. But come to find out, the boots basically saved my life, and right above where the boot ended is where I broke my fibula, which is where the main nerve to your foot runs, and they said that if I would have damaged that nerve, I could have had drop foot. They said if I wasn't wearing heavy-duty boots like I was, there was a more likely chance that I would have broken the bone in multiple places, which would have been a higher risk for amputation. And, you know, I mean, after hearing just those two things alone, and then not to mention my calf looked like a half pipe from being completely smashed in, and if something would have torn in that area, they said that they wouldn't have been able to really fix it because there's no attachment points behind the knee. So trying to sew two muscles together is basically like trying to sew hamburger meat together. It just doesn't work. So after hearing all that, I mean, I basically walked away right now with, I have the broken fibula, and I can't feel the whole backside of my leg, but they're working every day just to break up the adhesions and try to get in the lower part of my leg, not too high up on the calf yet, but we're trying to get the nerves to wake up and my calf to fill back out a little bit better. So it's a slow process, but it's healing.
So after one something like that, that's like life changing and dramatic, does that kind of give you that mental confidence to know that you've been through almost anything you can go through? So anything you see in the octagon is just another day at the office.
Yeah, I guess I have to say that. This year has been a rough year. It's definitely tested me emotionally. But, I mean, like I said, I'm just grateful that I still have all the opportunities in front of me. I know that when I come back, I'll have that world title shot, so that's motivating. And right now I'm just, I was recovering from shoulder surgery, and I had a little bit of question about my shoulder still, and now I can't do anything with my lower body, so I'm working the heck out of my upper body, and now there's no question in that. So it's just, I am building my confidence all around that nothing can basically stop me.
So what do you think about your division since you last fought with Rose? I mean, with whatchamacallit getting the belt, Nunes, and sitting there and had that crazy decision with Shevchenko.
I thought actually Valentina might win that fight just because their first fight was extremely close, and if there was more rounds, then Valentina probably would have won their first fight. But I mean, if you ask me, I think that I definitely am the number one contender, and I've definitely earned my spot. So I don't know. The division's sitting pretty quiet right now, is what I think.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, there's really not anyone, I mean, if you were healthy, obviously, and I think if maybe Juliana wasn't, about to have her first child, I think that would be a good matchup between you two. But, outside of that, there's really no one really knocking on the door for a title shot, it seems. So.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I'm ready. I've been wanting to fight Juliana since Ultimate Fighter, so that's eventually going to happen.
What's your issue? Because y'all kind of had beef on the show.
I actually tried to befriend her on the show out of everybody, and that shit just backfired. So it's basically one of those things where, we're two different people and our personalities didn't match. We got to deal with each other in the house. Let's deal with each other. But she kind of made her experience on the show a little bit more hell than what she really needed to. She kind of brought it on herself.
Oh, how'd she do that?
By being Juliana. No, I'm just kidding. No, she just made it seem like it was a living hell. She wouldn't interact with people and do things. She just acted like the whole household was against her. And granted, I mean, some of the people were picking on her and doing stuff like that, but not everybody was against her. And people, including myself, would try to talk to her, try to interact with her, play pool, whatever it was, and she just kind of wasn't there. I mean, when Misha would come around, she would interact with Misha, but that's basically as far as it went. Like, she went and tried to befriend anybody. She went into this, zone that the household hated her, but she was going to win the show. And, I mean, she won the show.
This question is for Tecia. Speaking of title shots, are you ready for your big fight with Michelle? And do you think you deserve the title shot if you come out victorious?
Yes, I'm ready for my fight with Michelle, and I believe that the title shot is coming my way. We'll see how this fight goes.
What is Michelle? Do you think that, because a lot of people say Michelle was getting way too much hype from the UFC earlier this year? Do you think it was deserved, or does that stuff not even faze you, the fact that they push certain people?
No, they definitely push certain people, and Michelle has her own little following, outside the UFC of fans. So I think her skill set was shown with her fight with Rose. So we'll see how she matches up against me next week.
Were you surprised with the Rose JJ fight, like the rest of us, or did you see that coming?
I didn't see the TKO knockout coming, no, but I wasn't surprised at all. I felt that Rose, was one of the people who had the potential to beat JJ just with her style and her movement, because all the girls seem to want to just stand in front of Joanna, and you can't really do that. And Rose went in there, used her movement, and then caught her. So, yeah, I was surprised by the way she ended it, but not by her win.
Do you want to see Rose again?
Say it again?
I said, do you want to see Rose again?
Do I want to beat Rose again?
I said, do you want to see her?
See her again, yeah. Get a
Since
rematch.
y'all had a very good technical
sorry.
fight.
Yeah. I definitely want to fight her. I think it'll happen.
Very cool. I know you were talking, or Raquel was talking rather, about the change up in camp where it's more so one-on-one time for both of you guys. I mean, how much of an effect do you think that's going to have coming into this fight with Michelle here?
It's definitely shown within my last two fights. My fight with Beck, I did, I think, like 3.5 weeks here over Christmas break, because I was still in school then. And then my last fight, I was only a 3-week camp, and I was living here, so I did the 3 weeks here. And then this fight was my first full fight camp with the Colorado team. I think I've shown some significant strides in terms of my development as a fighter in my last two fights, and I'm just excited to see what happens, on December 2nd.
How big a deal is for you to get you another finish? I was there when you got your last finish, and you got pretty emotional. Is that something that you're striving for, to get a spectacular win, so that they have to give you that title shot?
I'd like to go in there and finish Michelle one way or another. I have my mindset on what I want to do, but you never know. Fight's a fight. Anything can happen, but I have a few things that I'd like to, try on her.
Yeah, it sounds like you got some wrinkles up. I can see that. I can see you through the phones. Like, boom, she got some wrinkles that she gonna show. So we're gonna see some new Tecia that we hadn't seen before. Some stuff we hadn't seen before out of you.
Not in the UFC. I think in Invicta, I fought like I really wanted it. Not that I haven't wanted it, but I just haven't fought to my fullest potential, yeah. So I feel like this fight will bring it out of me. But you never know what happens. You say you want to do a million things, and you get out there, and it becomes a different fight. So I hope to put on a great show for the fans and to bring a fight to Michelle.
Absolutely. One question I've been asking to pretty much every strawweight and every bantamweight is obviously the new 125 class. Is that something that you may be looking at in the future?
No for both of us. No for me, because I only weigh like 122 pounds. That's kind of my heavy, so I don't think 125 is the weight class for me. And then
125 does not work for me. A lot of people think, I don't know if you get fooled by the Mexi roll or what's happening, but I walk 155 pounds, so to attempt to go to 125, you're going to have to cut like one of my legs off.
Goodness gracious.
Speaking of weight cuts, can you give some insight to how supportive your mom been? Because I remember I met you at 184 when you almost upset Holly, and your mom was like right there, your biggest supporter, and y'all were talking about how y'all cut weight and stuff together. Can you give some insight into that bond that y'all have?
Yeah, my mom's my best friend. She's always been there for me and been 100% supportive. No matter what sport I was in, she's been to all my games. She's been to multiple practices, and now that I joined MMA, she's gone to support me a lot, especially just in the gym to watch me progress or just see what I'm doing. And then when I came home and told her I was fighting my very first fight, she was like, "No, you're not." And it was probably an argument for about 20 minutes, and then I showed her the actual poster, and she was like, "Okay, well, I guess we're going to Wyoming." And then ever since then, she's just kind of made it a challenge. We walk around the same weight, so we're both usually like 155. Of course, during camp, I get probably 148 at my lowest. That's when I was walking at a good weight for my Miesha Tate fight. But she'll try to keep her weight around like whatever I'm weighing, and she'll eat fairly good. Obviously, I'm dieting and stuff, but she'll eat fairly good. And then my coaches love it because we get out there during fight week, and they'll put me through the workouts and everything that we're doing, and then they know once weight cut goes, she takes over weight cut, and she's just been my weight cut buddy. She sits in the sauna with me. If I do the Epsom salt bath, she's so funny. She has to put like her Abilene on and her hoodie and everything to get herself hot, but she'll stick her feet in my bath, and I always yell at her because she likes to play with the water with her feet, and I'm like, stop moving the water. So we're sitting there arguing with each other and whatnot, but she's the one that helps me get through all my weight cuts.
That's amazing. I think that's, a pretty unique thing. I don't know of any other mother, fighter, father type thing. I mean, I know there's some fathers that get in there with their sons, but I think that's a pretty unique thing to have. That's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. So I see, just looking at your Twitter feed here, so you guys had another little graduation of some of your little puppies here. You got some obedience classes going on, or what?
Yeah, we're working on those little hellions. They take after Tecia. They're like the little tiny tornadoes. But we put them in puppy classes, and they were doing phenomenal. Those little hellions, phenomenal through their puppy classes. During their night of graduation, we had to get up in front of the class and go through all their little tricks with them and whatnot. And both of ours acted like they never even learned one thing. They were just wandering off, wouldn't look at us, wouldn't come to us, kept running away. It was terrible.
Oh goodness! Did you get your money back for the classes then?
No, but we got a certificate of graduation.
Really, more like a certificate.
They actually know it. They know stuff. They just wanted to show their butt the last night.
Wow. Animals have a mind of their own. Sometimes they want to, maybe you just got to carry treats around with you all the time, and then maybe they'll listen more.
Nothing worked. I'm telling you, I had a bag of treats.
Oh, goodness.
Tecia,
go back in there.
Tecia, does it make a big deal the fact that you leading off the pay-per-view?
What's that?
Is it a big deal to lead off the pay-per-view? How's y'all mindset go versus like fighting in prelims, fighting on a main card pay-per-view, or like when Rocky was the co-main for that Ronda and Cat fight at 184? Is that a big difference, or you got to fight who you fight whenever you fight them?
I think both of us probably prefer to fight on the pay-per-view cards just because it's towards a little bit towards the end of the fight card. I know that I prefer to fight on there or more towards the end. Sometimes I like to fight sooner just because I can get it out of the way and then I can watch the other fights and enjoy myself. The co-main event, that definitely was a whole different ballgame. Just the media, the hype, everything leading up to that. Usually during fight week, it's fairly quiet. I mean, we got to do interviews. We got to do like our photo shoots, our video stuff, and just little different media things, but nothing too crazy to where you can kind of plan out your fight week and you can get your workouts in at a certain time, know when you're going to eat, whatever. But when I was fighting Holly Holm, our media days started at like 8 in the morning, and I didn't get done some nights until like 10. And by the time I got my workout in, I wasn't in bed until almost midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning every night. So it's a whole different ballgame. And I know when I was supposed to fight Amanda at the end of December, we were actually going to be the main event. So I'm assuming that would probably be a lot like when it was with Holly.
So you think in a weird way that got you to the level that you're at now? Because A, you had an Austin staff fight, and B, it kind of lets you know what's going to be expected of you when you're fighting for that belt and hopefully get that strap around your waist. Is that kind of like a preview for you?
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely learned that that's just all the entertainment side, that you basically just roll through the motions with it, and that's what I do. I just roll with it, and I focus on whatever I need to focus on. Before, it was obviously we were new into the UFC, I think at that point I had 2 UFC fights, or she was my third. I fought Roxy, and then I fought Jessica, and then I think I fought Holly right after that. I fought Ashley Evans Smith and then Holly. So it was all fairly everything was still new and exciting. And then obviously you get the co-main event, and then it was a big deal for the women because it was the first time that women were headlining the card as far as main event and co-main event. So there was just a lot happening. It was a different excitement and stuff. But now I've kind of learned to just duck out of the way, roll with the punches, and get the entertainment part out, and then just focus on what I need to.
Do you remember that night? Because I don't know if you could see, but when you're because you came out to that Bruno Mars and that he was in the stands singing that song.
Oh my gosh.
That was like crazy. I was pumped, and I'm not even really a Bruno Mars fan, so I'm pretty sure you're a fan of his. The fact that he's like basically kind of singing your walkout song while you walking out. That had to be kind of surreal. It wasn't scripted, as you know.
No, it was pretty crazy. Just that whole card in general. I remember talking to Dana, and he was pretty stressed out because there were so many different celebrities there that he didn't know where he was going to sit everybody. And I remember all those conversations being thrown everywhere. But it actually, like, threw me off because I have my walkout song, and I like to listen to it. And everybody kind of convinced me to walk out to that song, and I was like, okay. So the song started playing, and I was like, oh, heck no, this ain't working for me. Like, nothing was hyping me up, but as I was walking out, I could see the whole crowd dancing. So I was like, oh, well, that worked. But I threw my headphones in really fast.
That's an Uptown Funk.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty cool moment. Has that happened to you before, though? Like, going out to the fights where, like, even, like, the music just doesn't, get you going? Has that happened before?
Not while I've been in the UFC. It's happened to me when I fought for Invicta. It's actually funny because there's a lot of different things that go on behind the scenes, and there was one where it's when I was fighting Kat Zingano, and it was just like a shit show to begin with. I got food poisoning from the airport. I was super sick while we were in Kansas. My pride was in the way. My coach was telling me to pull from the fight, and I just had an ego, and I was like, I'm not pulling from a fight, but yet I'm throwing up. I had IVs hooked to me. And then, to make it even better, my coach lost my walkout music CD. So then I came out to, like, Pitbull, and I don't even know what song it was. And when it started playing, like, I looked at my coach, and I was ready to kill him.
Oh, goodness. I'm sure he just had to scramble to find something to put on. Or maybe that was that his decision, or was that, like, the production's decision? Do you remember?
In the process of taking the CD to the DJ, apparently the DJ lost the music, and so they just threw some music on, and I don't even know, but when it came on, my blood just started boiling, and I was like, and he was like, well, it's okay. You're getting ready to fight, so just take your anger out in there. And I was like, dude, I'm ready to kill you, not the chick in front of me.
That's funny. I could see that being a little bit of last minute, extra motivation, though, give you a whole nother reason to
I definitely like my music. Yeah, I definitely like my music.
We know y'all don't really y'all keep it real. This is what we like talking to y'all. Y'all don't really talk noise. But are you gonna be Tecia's hype woman? How Amanda's girl is for her during fight week?
Tecia's whatever she needs me to be. I know that I'm gonna be a guest fighter while I'm out there, but I've obviously been taking over Tecia's nutrition this fight camp, so I'm gonna continue to do that while we're out there, and then I'm obviously cornering her, so I'm everything. I'm her nutritionist, I'm her lover, I'm her friend, I'm her teammate, and I'm her coach. So just whatever moment it is, just gotta play the role.
How does that affect y'all in fighting? Because it seemed like y'all happiness outside the ring has kind of helped y'all perform at high levels inside the ring. Do the two go together?
It depends on the day. For the most part, I mean, we do well. We've butted heads a few times just because I'm very competitive, and then it doesn't help that obviously going through all these injuries within this past year and not being able to do what I love right now. When I see her and she's exhausted or she's tired or she's slacking in practice, it frustrates me. And instead of leaving in the gym, I'll come home and say something, and then she's frustrated because of her training, so then she'll say something. And we have our little spat, but then we'll settle it or whatever else. But then now we just got to the point where it's like, okay, outside of the gym, I'm just, I'm her friend and I'm her lover. And then when we walk in those doors, I could be her teammate and I can be her coach. And whatever's happening in the gym, we can talk about it then and whatnot. And then once we leave, it stays there. So we're learning to balance it. It's definitely different. I think we're just learning to balance the whole relationship in general with the fact of we did long distance for so long, and then now we moved in together, so being around each other constantly. And then for me, it's a big difference with the fact of I've never dated somebody who's in the same profession as me. So it's different for me having to wake up with somebody, eat breakfast with them, go to training with them, come home, eat lunch. Our entire day is around each other. So now I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, like we have special programs specific programs for like strength and conditioning. So I told her like, let's separate our certain ones and we can just come home together at certain points and see each other, but at least have a little bit of separation so we have some sort of healthy balance. So, I mean, we're just rolling with the punches and figuring it out.
Very cool. It's definitely a work in progress. And, it's exciting to see, both of you guys' growth. And to hear that your career was almost over is kind of scary stuff to hear. And I hope, the rest of your recovery goes well. Because I want to see you back in there.
Oh, definitely. We want to see you fight for that strap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Kendrick. Oh. Oh, yeah. I just want to thank both of you guys for joining us today. A lot of good stuff. I'm excited about Tecia's fight against Michelle. Raquel, I'm excited to see you, back in the octagon again. When you're out there, being in Tecia's corner as a guest fighter, just make sure you don't throw a boomerang at somebody and get sent home early. And we'll see you take care of business out there, Tecia.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you guys.
We definitely will stay in touch. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for talking, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And joining us now on the Slip and Dip podcast is UFC lightweight Mr. James, the Texecutioner Vick. Man, finally cracked into the rankings at lightweight after, winning damn near every fight he's ever had in the UFC. James, what's going on, man?
Nothing, just chilling back home. Been real busy back home and just resting up some and, getting ready for the next big one, hopefully.
Yeah. How's it feel to finally be in the top 15 rankings in the UFC after, like you said, after your last win, man? You finally cracked the rankings, being so frustrated with not being in there. You're finally in there. Are you happy with it? Do you feel any different?
It doesn't feel any different because I'm not really trusting that, because I remember earlier this summer, if y'all don't remember, they ranked me number 15 for like 1 week, and then Justin Gaethje and Anthony Pettis won, and they pulled me out of the rankings. So I was literally ranked for 1 week, and they pulled me out. So I don't trust them to not pull another move like that. So I'm not happy with it yet.
I know you don't call out people, but that's two names you definitely want to see: a Pettis or a Gaethje.
You say that again?
Is that two people you would mind seeing, a Pettis or a Gaethje?
Yeah, I would beat the shit out of both of them, man. I've been calling those guys out. Gaethje's been running his mouth on Twitter, talking shit, so we've been going back and forth a little bit. And then I mentioned Pettis, and he won't even reply. Like I trolled him on Twitter also, and these guys won't even reply. Which, I mean, he knows Anthony Pettis knows he's done.
Yeah, he's done. But tell me this about Gaethje, just as a fighter. As you know, I'm cool with Mr. Steve Wright, and I'm one of the few people in this MMA game that covers MMA and boxing. And I like to subscribe to the theory that getting hit is not cool. I've never seen a person that's quote unquote considered a superstar that likes getting hit. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get knocked out one of these days, but you ain't that person. When Gaethje says all that, what do you think about that? That's like absolutely doesn't make any sense, even though he's gotten away with it so far in his career.
That's the dumbest strategy I've ever heard in my life. And honestly, he fights like that because he has no choice. He fights like that because he's unathletic. He has no physical attributes. His technique isn't good, and he has no choice but to fight like that. I can bite down on my mouthpiece and go to war with him too. But if I fought him, I wouldn't have to do that. The best believe that dog is there if I have to bring it out. But he has no choice. He literally has to fight like that because he's not that athletic. And he's not that skilled, and he's a tough dude, and that's about all he has. He's like, just like you see like tough Mexican boxers, where some of them, like you have. That's not a racial comment.
Oh no, not to cut you off.
You have like a slick Mexican boxer like Juan Manuel Marquez, who's like very slick and methodical and skill set. But you have dudes like Chavez Jr. who just takes beatings. Because you don't have a skill set and he doesn't have any athleticism, so he has no choice. I mean, and that's there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people that they make up in heart what they lack in skill. But guess what? I have both of those. I have skill and heart. So in my mind, I'll fuck Justin Gaethje up. I know I would. With it, I'd bet the house on myself. I'd bet so much money on myself if I took that fight.
Hey man, you don't have to tell me. Hey, if you you're an instant friend of the show. As Matt likes to know that my theory to fighting is getting hit is not cool, but for some reason in both boxing and MMA, people think getting hit is cool. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. But you subscribe to me. I've been saying the same thing because a wise person once told me, like you said, the reason that he has to fight that way is because he's lacking something. Now you just hit it spot on, brother. I agree with you 110%.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I understand. I get why fans like that, but I mean, that's a good way to have a short career and end up with. This is what people got to understand is we haven't seen them. We're just now starting to see the long-term effects of MMA. And these guys are taking all these beatings, and don't get me wrong, I've been knocked out before, but I don't take those. But I don't take shots like that every fight. Gaethje has been fortunate enough not to be knocked out because he's fought B-level or C-level competition in other organizations. The guys that he fought outside of the UFC wouldn't even be ranked in the top 40, and they're hyping this dude up like he's going to be a world champion. He's the best fighter one of the best fighters in the division. It's a joke. Literally, he fought a bunch of tomato cans and padded his record outside of the organization. And if he takes those shots by skilled fighters that are in the UFC, he's not going to last long. And it's cool, I guess, as a fan or whatever to see that. But, long term, this dude needs to think about his health. He's taking beatings every fight, get wobbly, on chicken legs every fight.
Man, that's crazy. So I know after the fight you said you wanted that headlining spot in Austin. Have you heard anything from the UFC about, whether or not they even may put you on that card?
I'm working on it. We're in the process of it. So I have a little bit of a knee injury. It's nothing bad, but it's like at the moment it's like a really bad chronic patella tendonitis.
Oh wow!
And I've never had any knee problems in my life, and I actually had an offer for a fight, and I had to turn it down. But this was sooner, and it wasn't even. I didn't know. I don't know who it was against. Honestly, I don't know if I'm even supposed to be saying this, but basically, Sean Shelby texted me and asked me if I wanted to fight December 30th. If I could fight December 30th against, he said, a high-profile opponent, and I said, man, I can't. I said, my knees are messed up. The doctor told me if I don't wrestle, it's going to be a serious problem because I had this problem throughout the whole camp, and this last training camp I had was one of the worst I ever had. It was just bad, and I have no choice. I'm probably I'm getting an MRI on it. I may end up getting an injection. I'm supposed to be going to the doctor tomorrow, and I may end up getting an injection on it and everything. And I told him I couldn't take the fight, and then I asked him. He said okay, and then I asked him. I said, just curious, who is it? Who was it? And he didn't even answer that. And he just said, let me know when you're ready. And I told him, I said I want to fight on that, the February card. And then he didn't really reply back after that. So, but I know he saw it.
That's interesting. I'm sitting here spinning my wheels trying to think who it would have been. Man.
Hey, whenever you get that call, are you gonna let us know so we can break this news, man?
For what, the February 18th?
Yeah. Whenever you get that call for that next fight.
Yeah. You're saying you want me to come back on to break the news or something?
Yeah. Or let us know.
I'll let you know for sure. I'm sure. My manager might end up posting it too, and I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, no worries whatsoever.
If it's February 18th, I'm assuming I should know something hopefully within the next few weeks.
Yeah, if it's February 18th for sure, that's that Austin card. I'm definitely going to be there.
Yeah,
maybe
we can do it live in your hotel room fight week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, do you notice any difference fighting in Texas? You've had a few tight, fought down in Houston, the Super Bowl card, fought 211. Is there anything special about fighting in Texas for you?
Oh, I love it. Just because I have all my people show up, and it's just Texas people support their own, and it's just the reception is. I've actually fought 3 times in Texas in the UFC. I fought in Austin a couple years ago, and then I fought Houston and Dallas, and Dallas was the best, obviously. It was the easiest fight I've had. I went in there, took one punch the whole fight, knocked the guy out, and then right in front of 30 minutes from my house, and that was that was probably the best moment of my career so far. I love fighting in Texas. I just love it because everyone, Texas people support their own. It's just great.
James, do you think you're the most avoided man at 155? Because I had some trainers that told me, like, there's several high-profile people that avoided seeing you. They do not want to see you.
I'm definitely one of them. Yeah, 100%. It's and don't get me wrong. When I say, you know, when I'm sitting here saying these guys are afraid to fight me, now there's plenty of guys in the division that will fight me, but not anyone ranked above me. I mean, who the hell wouldn't fight someone that's ranked above them? I mean, of course, the number 30th ranked guy would take a fight with me because it's a no lose situation for him. You know, he would. But any of these guys that are ranked above me, and I'm not going to sit there and act like they're afraid of James Vick, the fighter, but they're afraid of. They know there's a high possibility they're going to lose to me, and they're afraid of what losing to me would do to their career. 100% they're afraid of it. And I'm just in a shitty situation right now because I'm first of all, in my mind, I'm the best fighter in the world. I believe right now I would whip Conor McGregor or Tony Ferguson's ass 100% with all my heart. I believe that, and I'm at the high risk, low reward category, and that's the problem right now. That's why I'm hoping, and UFC's doing a better job of this, giving me a promotional push and helping me out here because these guys don't want to fight me because they know, who wants to fight a 6'3" lightweight that can finish you anywhere. I have all these finishes in the UFC. I'm 6'3", and I don't have quite a big name. My name is getting bigger, but I'm a high risk with the award category right now. So it sucks to be where I'm at, honestly.
Two-part question: who do you think is the second best person in your weight class, and what do you think about Kevin Lee, a friend of the show as well?
I don't know who I think is the second best. I mean, I'm not sure. It just depends. I don't know. I mean, you want to say maybe Khabib, but he only fights once every 2 years, so that's hard to tell. I don't know. I mean, Ferguson has proved. Obviously. I think Ferguson is similar to me. Everyone talks crap about Ferguson, saying he has all these holes in his game and this and that, but the motherfucker wins. He wins, And that's what everyone says about me. Oh, well, he fights with his hands down. He pulls his head back, keeps his chin in the air. But all these things that people have said, that I'm technically wrong. First of all, we all have technical issues, but these things have helped me more than they've ever hurt me in any fight that I did. And the second part question, Kevin Lee. I mean, Kevin Lee, he's a cool dude or whatever. But I think I would win that fight. I'd whip his ass. I mean, he's a little fake. I mean, to be honest with you, I was always cool with Kevin Lee until last week or 2 weeks ago after the Hawani show. I've always been cool with Kevin Lee, and I understand it's just business. And we had to hang out together a little bit when I was in Vegas for International Fight Week. We did like the pre-fight show together, and we had to ride in the bus together. I'm cool. And then I see the dude. The other day at, after the fights in New York at one of the Broadway show, and I saw him and I was like pointing at him, laughing and just playing around. I was like, "What's up, Kevin?" Whatever, just bullshitting with him. And then he goes on Ariel Helwani and tries to say he was yelling at me and acting like he punked me out or something at the thing when the dude was sitting there laughing and like we was cool with each other. I was like, what a joke, After you sit there and he was hanging out with one of my teammates, actually, DJ Jackson. They were hanging out and chilling together and stuff. And Kevin Lee wants to act like he punked me out and try to act like he was yelling at me up in the rap because I was on the second floor of the little Broadway thing because we waited till literally the last minute to get the tickets. And he wants to talk crap like, oh yeah, I saw James Vick in nosebleed seats and I was yelling at him this and that. Like, and none of that shit happened. He's just fake and he's lying, man. It's like pathologically lying.
That's fake news.
And so before that point, I've always been, I ain't got no respect for the dude anymore. Like, that's a joke, man. Like, you're trying to make yourself sound cool because, Ariel Helwani asked me if he'd fight me or whatever. And he's like, and I already asked for that fight with Kevin Lee because I said I want the winner of Chiesa Kevin Lee after I won in Dallas. But, Kevin Lee moved, he moved on and he got a title shot, props to him. I'm not hating on him, but he's fucking fake, man. I mean, it's a joke. The dude sees you and acts like he's all cool, and then gets on the Ariel Helwani show and acts like we had a problem, and he punked me out as a joke. What a joke!
How much of that do you think is him? Just trying to make sure that his name stays relevant. I mean, obviously he's been known to have a big. He talks a lot for sure, and he tries to hype himself up. He tries to get the crowd involved and try to just get a reaction out of a lot of people. I mean, I think. How much do you think is him just doing that versus like that's really how he actually thinks about things?
And here's another thing. You know what? I haven't thought about this, but I just now thought about it. Actually, I have thought about it a lot. You know what I need to do? I need to go ahead and release this because Kevin Lee. Okay, this is not common knowledge for everyone, but Kevin Lee turned down a fight with me a couple years ago, and I have text messages from Joe Silva proving that his camp said they didn't want to fight me. Right before I took the fight with Beneil Dariush and lost, we had asked to fight Kevin Lee. Or Sean Shelby asked that if I would take the fight, and I said, yeah, we'll fight Kevin Lee. And then we get a text message back from his camp saying he don't want to take the fight with such a tall opponent on short notice. And of course he's going to deny that. And if he ever does deny that, I'm just going to leak the messages because I have them saved for a rainy day. I've been saving them. But I mean that's cool if he wants to promote it and wants to keep his name out there, then that's fine. Be real. If you want to do that, then go ahead and talk some shit to me while we're at Broadway then. You know what I'm saying? Ain't neither one of us got to fight each other for fucking free in the street anyway. If you want to act like you want to draw attention and keep yourself relevant, then talk some shit. Don't go in there and be cool and then lie and say you talk some shit. That's ridiculous.
Tell me this, because me and Matt in the media game, I do multiple sports. Matt does multiple things. Why do people... Like, when it comes to, like fighters in general, like, y'all do y'all thing on Saturday night, y'all talk to people like us, why do people talk so much noise about, like, big shows, like Ariel's show and other shows, but then y'all go on the show you talking about? I don't get that. Not necessarily you, but I'm pretty sure got some homeboys like, man, F him, da-da-da-da-da-da, and then they be on the motherfucking show on Monday. Well, why do people do that?
Repeat that again. Like you're saying that they
don't talk noise about the reporter. Like, hey, I don't like Ariel Wani. I don't like such and such. But then they go on their shows and stuff. Like on Monday, like why do they keep going on these people's shows if they don't like them so much? I don't get that concept.
I don't know. I mean,
but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Who are you talking about?
But not who. I'm talking about people in general. That concept.
No, I get what you mean. I mean, as far as I go, I mean, I've never experienced it. I've never went on anybody's show. I didn't like Ariel Wani's been great to me. He's really hooked it up. I mean, he's probably given me more media attention than pretty much any reporter out there. So I've never went on somebody's show. I didn't like if I don't like somebody, I'll tell them, fuck you, I ain't going on the show. I won't even reply to that message.
hey, the slippy dip, man. We want you to be a friend of the show, man. If you get on that Austin card, we definitely want to do it live from your hotel room during fight week, like Wednesday or Tuesday.
Y'all better not piss me off, then. Y'all coming on this shit again.
I
ain't trying to get executioned.
Wow, yeah. No, man, we try to keep it cool with everybody. Obviously, we don't hold any grudges with anybody. We just like to share everybody's story, man, and hear what's going on, in your head and how you feel about your fighting career. But I mean, who would be the ideal opponent for you if you get that headlining spot?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out who is ranked above me that would be willing to fight me. It's healthy. Like I would like, who I would like? I would like a rematch with Michael Chiesa because he's bitter and thinks that he got cheated his last fight, and it was his first.
He didn't.
It was his first. You said what?
He didn't.
You said he didn't.
Yeah, he wasn't getting out. The dude wasn't getting out. The only way he was getting out was if he went out. He was like that. Wasn't he wasn't getting out of that. But so he's bitter about that, and he cry or complained for a year or two or whatever, saying he deserved a main event, and then he got one, and then he thinks he got cheated. Well, we'll sign up for another one then. I mean, he's obviously not a headliner of a pay-per-view card. Neither one of us have that type of pool or draw yet. So let's go ahead and main event, and main event another fight night. Give him another main event, fight night. Give me my first. And you have a storyline because we fought an Ultimate Fighter. He beat me, and we can do a rematch. But I'm called once again. I called him out the other day and I asked him to fight me. And I've been calling this guy for 5 years for a rematch, and he won't even reply anymore.
Man, Well, I
They
hope.
literally act like they don't know who I am. I swear to God. Like, no, Chiesa doesn't. Chiesa doesn't because obviously we. Here's the thing. Me and Chiesa are actually cool. We're cool. I mean, if he wouldn't have beat me in the Ultimate Fighter, I wouldn't even want to fight him because we lived together 3 months. We're cool. I was cool with all those guys. We became close. You live with someone for 3 months, you become close. But I mean, obviously, I want revenge. But like, I called out Anthony Pettis. This motherfucker won't even reply. Act like he don't know who I am. I called out. I trolled Evan Dunham for fucking 3 or 4 weeks, like hard. The dude didn't want to fight me, which that's a funny story because I trolled this guy hard. Sean Shelby asked me to fight him. I said, yeah, I'll take the fight. And then he wouldn't take the fight, and I started trolling him. And then I get a text message from Sean Shelby. I guess the UFC tried to strong arm him and ask him if he would fight me. I mean, or tried to strong arm him and force him to fight me. Basically, I think they basically said, if you don't fight Vick, then you're not going to fight for a while. And I get a text message from Sean Shelby talking about Evan Dunham said he won't fight you and he's willing to set out. And his only rebuttal to me on on Twitter was saying, "Oh, I'm fighting up, not down. You need to win more fights." What's funny is though now I'm ranked above him, so he's gonna have to be begging me if he wants to fight after I called him out for months now, and now he wouldn't want to take it. So, but if he was a big enough draw to be a main event, I'd whip his ass in Austin.
That's one thing I like about you, James. Like, you're definitely one of the nicest guys in the sport, but give people some insight that let them know, like, you're about that life. Like, few people, to me in the division, the people that are about that life of you, Kevin, and Tony Ferguson, a lot of people be posing. So give us some insight to finding out as somebody that you're going to see in the cage within a month or within 2 years, that why can you tell if they're about that life or not?
I mean, a lot of these dudes, they are fake, and they do what they have to do to. I get it. A lot of this comes down to money. It does. It comes down to money. Money makes the world go round. And a lot of these people that I knew that I wouldn't. Of course, I said I wanted the winner of this. After my last fight, I wanted the winner of Pettis and Poirier. I knew I wouldn't get in that fight. First of all, I knew Poirier was going to win, and I won money on him. I knew he was going to win, and then I knew he wasn't going to fight me. In his mind, he thinks he deserves a title shot because he beat up Eddie Alvarez. And he did. He should have won that fight against Eddie Alvarez. He was winning that fight. But you deserve a title fight after beating Anthony Pettis, who's 2-4 in his last 6 fights, and got ranked only because of his name, because he beat Jim Miller, who's ranked like 30th right now. And then he gets ranked after beating Jim Miller. Like, it's just it's ridiculous. I don't know, man. A lot of these guys, you can tell. I mean, like, a dude that'll fight, that wants to fight, he'll reply. Like, I'm not going to sit there and let someone troll me for 3 fucking weeks talking shit, and you think I'm not going to have something to say back? I'm just going to sit there and just have people blowing up my social media, acting like, I'm a pussy because I won't reply to this guy's message. Like, I mean, if someone wants to talk shit to me, even if I don't want to fight them, I'm still going to say something back. I'm not just going to sit there. Like, half of these guys I've been talking crap. They won't even reply. They ain't about that life, or they would be replying.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's just that eventually you're going to keep winning, and they're going to have to see you inside the octagon? So, do you think it's a thing to where they don't want to maybe spark some kind of rivalry and get the fans involved as well?
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm kind of surprised that Justin Gaethje's actually been talking shit to me. So I guess, but Justin Gaethje, he's real. He's a real dude. He's not a pussy, and he's one of the few guys that's actually started talking shit back, because basically after he fought in Vegas against Michael Johnson, I went on Twitter and was like, man, UFC, give me this fight, I'll whip this guy's ass. And then I didn't hear anything back from him. He didn't reply. He didn't reply for months. And then all of a sudden he started talking shit. So now he's been running his mouth. So we've been going back and forth a little bit on Twitter, but at least he's man enough. I'll give him respect. At least he's man enough to actually come back and say something instead of just taking it on the chin, like, and just not being a pussy and not having anything to say back, standing up for himself. Do
you think he takes care of Eddie?
He should. I mean, realistically, he should. I don't know, though, the way both of them take punches. I mean, but he should. I mean, Eddie Alvarez could, I have a crazy theory on this that I've thought about. For me, and I guess we'll see if Tony Ferguson McGregor plays out, or if it does, if McGregor wins or whatever. But I think the UFC wants Justin Gaethje to be a sacrificial lamb for McGregor.
Wow.
I really think that. I think that they're trying to bring him in, and they don't want McGregor fighting Khabib because Khabib will fuck McGregor up, and they know that. And McGregor could catch him with something, but I wouldn't bet my money on that. And I think that if he goes in there and he finishes Eddie Alvarez, who's ranked like number 3 or something like that, and I think that they know like as many shots as Gaethje takes, like McGregor will probably knock him out. And I really think that the UFC is hyping Gaethje up to bring him in as a sacrificial lamb because they think he's going to beat Eddie, and they think that that McGregor will smoke him. And I guess it might be a far-fetched theory, but I just think that's what I think that's actually realistic.
That's crazy. I mean, for me, it's all of that definitely makes sense. I mean, it's just, for me right now, just the way the whole division seems, it's like, especially at the top, it's all weird. With the interim title, Conor's kind of, doing the Conor thing. I think just across the board, the interim titles, all that stuff is all out of hand. Who knows what's happening in the middleweight division? Who knows what's happening in light heavyweight? There's just chaos, man. And I think the fans are starting to get exhausted of all that. They just want to see guys get in there and fight. And you're one of those guys that's out there trying to make that happen. So I think the UFC just kind of needs to get on board with what James Vick is trying to get done. You agree?
Yeah, they do. I just think they need to. Honestly, if they're going to have interim, I mean, you can't. Obviously, you can't. You have no say about what McGregor does, and as far as us, I mean, I'm not even going to hate on the guy. I mean, every one of us would switch spots and be within the position he's in. If any of us could go fight Floyd Mayweather for $100 million, we all would too. So I'm not going to hate on the dude, but at this point, it's like all these interim belts for multiple weight classes. It's time to go ahead and add more weight classes then. If a dude can't get a fight, if I can't get a title fight at 155, why not let me move up to 165? If you have that next weight class. I mean, yeah, I can move up to 170, but the problem with that is moving up to 170 puts me right where I'm at. There's damn near as many guys in the next weight class up, and it's just unfortunate that that's the weight class I'm in. If I was 8-1 and as a heavyweight or a bantamweight, I'd already be ranked top 5 in the world. But it's just unfortunate that that's the depth. The weight class I'm in is so deep, but the next one up is too. So everyone's always like, "Oh, you're so big, you should move up." But then I have to start all over if I move up. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
So I just think more weight classes.
It's tough, man. It's a tough game. I mean, to figure out, especially like you said, the whole weight class thing it's weird. I mean, you're a big lightweight as it is. I mean, how much weight are you cutting right now, anyways?
I mean, it just depends. Usually when I'm, I start camp, I'm like a high 80s, maybe 190. When I start, 2 months out or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, I have gone up. I mean, I can get up to, I think this morning I was like 192 or something. But I've just been like so I have a little bit of a knee problem, so I haven't got to train much. I've been able to box a little bit, maybe like 3 days a week, and that's it. I box 3 days, but I can't go hard, and then I've just been eating like shit. Like if I eat healthy and started working out again, I would drop some of that pretty quick. It's just I've been eating like trash,
Yeah.
Too much sugar.
So if we could shift gears here a little bit, I saw you posted on your Facebook not too long ago a little gender reveal. So you got some major life events coming on, huh?
Yeah, we're having a baby. April 5th is the due date, and got a boy coming. I'm excited. I wanted a boy, and I'm just happy. Happy to have a boy, and I want to teach him how to fight, teach him how to hunt, teach him how to fish, and just I'm gonna give him my name. His name is gonna be James Jr. So I'm excited.
Who's your favorite football team? Who you gonna have him supporting?
mean, I'm not a huge football fan, but I mean, I gotta go with the Cowboys because I'm from Dallas, and I gotta support my locals.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Didn't look very good this week, but stuff happens. Stuff happens, man.
So when you cut weight, what's some stuff that you eat? Because a lot of people be asking those kind of questions like, what do fighters do when they're cutting weight? Because even for me, I'm not a novice observer. This is what I do for a living. I think it's crazy to me that you cut like 45 pounds or 35 pounds to fight. That's crazy.
I follow. I've been working with George Lockhart and Fitness VT for probably close to 4 years now, and me and George are super close. And I follow his diet, and I follow it as best I can. Honestly, the weight cuts are hard for me, obviously because I'm big. But I mean, there's other guys that are just as big as me too. But I'm also kind of undisciplined. I cheat my diet more than I should, so I've been working on that, a lot lately. And especially this last camp, I had no choice. I had the knee problems, so I couldn't really run any of the weight off, so I was real worried. And then George has been so busy with all this other, working with McGregor, doing all this other stuff and all these other people, that I didn't think he was going to be able to fly out to New York, so I was super strict on my diet this time, and it worked out good. He really has like a lot of options for you when you go on there to his website, Fitness VT. It just you can swap a lot of the meals and stuff. Chicken, fish, broccoli, asparagus, brown rice, grapes, oranges, bananas, strawberries, and you can swap stuff: blackberries, almonds, cashews.
Get me hungry, man. I haven't even had dinner yet. I'm getting hungry now.
I mean, you can make it if you're creative at cooking, which I'm not that great at it, but my girlfriend comes up sometimes, and she's a great cook, so she'll come up sometimes to camp and cook some for me. You can make the meals taste very good and stuff, and you just have a lot of options. If you don't like chicken, you can switch it for ground turkey. You don't like ground turkey, you can switch it for salmon. You don't like that, you can switch it for tuna. Or tilapia. You can switch it for venison. You can have there's a lot of options to swap it, to swap things. You go in there and it'll say swap, and you can swap for chicken for turkey or whatever, and it may change up the ounces a little bit. If you can eat 6 ounces of chicken, you may only get 5 ounces of turkey or whatever. But there's a lot of options for you. So you can make it good.
Crazy. I mean, it's awesome that it sounds like it's really easy for you though, to figure out what you want to do, and I guess having those many options makes it easier to deal with fighting the scale, I guess. Yeah,
it's never easy though, because like I said, you get a lot of fruit and stuff on there, which is good, like grapes and oranges and bananas and apples or whatever, but you don't get no sugar, no candy, nothing like that, no ice cream, which I always do all that, so it messes me up a little bit. But I love George's program. I've been on it, like I said, off and on with during camp for about 4 years now.
It seems like he's got it together, man. And like he's helped out a lot of people. Obviously, I think Chris Cyborg is probably the biggest one that I can think of right now. So he definitely. No, he worked McGregor for the Mayweather camp. Yeah, that's right.
He was there full time. He was over there full time for like 6 weeks or 7 weeks in Ireland.
Yeah, I remember seeing him on the documentaries and everything. All of the documentaries that went on for that fight, all 30 of them. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, listen, James. I appreciate the time tonight, man. I don't want to keep you up too late.
Thanks for joining us, brother. We're trying to hook up with you, man. We're gonna stay in touch, man. We're gonna challenge Ariel for the most hype man of James Vick.
Yes, sir. Get it done. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. We appreciate the time, man. You have a good one. We're looking forward to this next fight announcement. Hopefully it's in Austin. Hopefully it's a headlining spot, and hopefully it's against maybe a top 5 opponent. That'd be something crazy. Yeah, man. Best of luck with getting that knee healed up, man. And we look forward to hearing some breaking news from you soon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll text you and keep in touch with you, brother.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. James, the Texecutioner. Vick. I always like James personally. He fell in my top 10 just because he's about that life, and he's a Texas boy. So we know if you see him in the streets, he ain't just running his mouth.
Man, he's intense. He's an intense dude, man. I loved his post-fight interview after his last win. I mean, everything he said is on point, man. He's just trying to crack into that top 5, trying to climb that ladder at 155. As stacked of a division it is, he's just trying to get some respect. You know, he's barely just entered the rankings. The dude lost 1 fight in the UFC. And outside of that, has largely looked like a guy that should be fighting for a title, you know, maybe within the next year. So.
That would be crazy though. You fight another friend of the show, Kevin Lee, the next year or so.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know I was going to get stuff started up, man. Let's slip it down.
Hey,
we get stuff started.
Broke a little news there too. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I think like kind of to touch on what he was saying about Kevin. I think Kevin definitely plays it up. You know, whenever he's on interviews and stuff, he tries to get that persona going because that's what fans buy into, man. His controversy sells. You know, just kind of like Colby Covington. I don't think Colby.
He doing those. He DTMing. For
y'all
don't know that DTMing is code word for brothers for he doing way too damn much.
Yeah.
He doing too much.
No, I think so too. But I definitely think he's playing it up for the cameras and for the microphones whenever they're on too. Just like you saw when Fabricio checked him in the streets. He pulled out his phone.
Walked up on him. What he was trying to give down. Bam! Boomerang. Yeah. Go back to America.
Right.
Son.
And he got sent home, yeah. After getting hit with a boomerang.
The message that you learned in 2017, Brazilians are about that life. If they say they're going to do something, just like a European, they're not running their mouth. They're for real.
Yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild. They'll check you in the street, son. Don't respect nobody, as we said earlier at the top of the show. Yeah, it's crazy. Man, so looking ahead real quick, man, we got another card this weekend coming up. I mean, hopefully it's the first card. It's the first UFC card in mainland China.
This being in my man Kelvin, I don't see nothing worth watching.
I mean, this was supposed to be Anderson Silva versus Kelvin Gastelum, but Anderson Silva did the whole testing positive thing. And now we got Michael Bisping.
Come on, bro. Come on. Hold on.
Hang on, let me put it on the screen for the people on our YouTube. There's a whole lot of Kendrick's favorite saying here.
Come on, man. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 8 shadowy figures, but I'm supposed to watch this or buy it on Fight Pass. Tell you what, when it's gonna come on in the middle of the night, I'll be watching it live on some of the podcast studios, just the main event.
Yeah, there's a lot of shadowy figures, man. There's a lot of shadowy figures.
Who's the chick?
Caitlin Curran?
Okay, I've seen her fight. Who's the other chick?
I don't know.
No. There was two chick fights.
Oh, who right here?
Fights,
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, Gina Mazzani?
Who's that? I don't know.
She's all right. She's all right. She's got a lot of work to do, but she's solid. Solid bantamweight.
So other than Bruce Leeway and Caitlin, I don't know any of these other fighters in this card.
You know the Leech. You know the Leech. Zach Otto is pretty good. But yeah, man. Largely, this is gonna be one of those fights.
Alex Garcia. My bad, Alex.
Yeah, you know Alex. Come on. Zabit. This guy right here is probably gonna win a fight of the night bonus. I'm gonna throw that out there. That is my early fight of the night, or not fight of the night, but performance bonus prediction.
What did you say at the beginning of the show?
What?
You don't like watching all this extra garbage. You gonna watch this whole card?
Yes, I'm gonna watch the card, bro.
Well, Buzz me like you woke me up this weekend and watched the co-main. Buzz me out y'all to watch this main.
Listen, the good thing about this card, unlike this past weekend, this is an all Fight Pass card, so it's gonna have that Fight Pass pacing, which means fights in, another fight starts. No 15 minutes of commercials for Fox. No 45 minutes of filler.
Local time.
2:45 in the morning here.
Okay, I'm actually gonna 5 o'clock.
It's gonna be an all-nighter. It's gonna be an all-nighter.
Tell your girl don't get mad. I'm not creeping for. Why can't you come here at 4:30?
We'll see, man. We'll see how it works out. But I mean, it should be a fun card. Hopefully, you know they're not catering to the U.S. audience because it's an all Fight Pass card. So they're doing it right for the fans out there. First card, like I said, first fight card in mainland China for the UFC. So, you know, hopefully they actually show a little bit of that atmosphere on the broadcast because they never really do. You know, they may show like an outside pan of the arena.
Because you come on now, we got all the copycat citizens over here in America. They did it over in China, let's do it over here in that. No, that's not going to work. Now, I'm glad they do that. You don't want to give people ideas. At the end of the day, UFC is a business. We got enough foolishness and tomfoolery that we see behind the scene. Imagine that times 5, because they see somebody get away with something in Shanghai, or they see somebody get away with something in Brazil, and they try to bring that over here to the States.
No, I'm just talking about like more so just like showing, you know, more than just like a quick pan of outside of the arena. Like, you know, talking
But
more
those
about
fans
the
are
culture.
wild over there, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, show more about the culture of fighting in China and everything like that. You know, indulge in that. I mean, this is supposed to be a big moment. You know, for the promotion. Like I said, first fight in mainland China. That's a huge thing for the UFC. So hopefully they embrace that throughout the broadcast. Even though it's a fight pass only card, you know, I'm not sure how much they're actually going to do, but you know, it's just an idea.
And speaking of Michael Bisping, next week, or in studio, well not in studio, but and our guest of the show will be Jason Perillo, his trainer, confirmed, signed, sealed, and delivered. Also, we're gonna have Derek, my man for Earl Spence trainer. I think he should be trainer of the year. Derek been putting in some work.
Yeah.
Got Charlo Brothers knocking people out. Got Earl Spence getting belts over the UK. He's had a hell of a year.
Yeah. Errol Spence, man, that's a name that needs to be on everybody's tongue. If you're a fight fan, if you don't know who Errol Spence is, I highly suggest you get familiar quickly. So, yeah, man, I think it's time to wrap this show up. Episode 30 is in the bag. People, listeners, if you're still with us, follow us on Twitter. Follow Kendrick at Kendrick Johnson. Follow me at Mr. M. Wells Art. Follow the show at Slip and Dip Podcast. Find us on Spreaker, find us on iTunes, find us on YouTube for the video feed. Like, subscribe, give us some comments, feedback. Let us know. We're trying to grow the show. We're trying to bring high-quality guests in the every week. And we're delivering on that promise so far. So help us grow. Get the word out there. Spread it around. And, yeah.
It's the real deal.
Real deal. Yeah, man. Thank you again to James Vick. Thank you again to Tecia Torres. Thank you again to Raquel Pennington for the great interviews today.
Two for Bison 1.
Yeah. Enjoy them. Let's get out of here, man. We'll see you guys next week with those guests that Kendrick just mentioned.
Derek James is his name. I forget Derek's last name all the time. Derek James.
Oh. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. Holidays and stuff. Wow.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble.